Hey there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here this afternoon to the Prog Monster. I am the host and runner of this channel. My name is Murph, and we are here today to do a series that I guess it's a series. It's kind of a show that's going on regularly until everything is covered. So basically, this is rock bands A to Z. So we're going from the beginning of the alphabet to the end. Now, some of them I may double up as we get closer because there's a few letters that don't really have enough bands for me to really cover, and I may double up on them. But at the moment, we're on the letter C, so that's not going to be an issue. The issue isn't whether there's enough. There's obviously enough. There's probably too many. So I've picked the 5 that I think are the ones that I like the best at the present moment. There's going to be a few surprises here of bands who people think I probably would have picked, but I didn't. But I've got the 5 that I like. I don't have these in any particular order, although I can quickly change that, which I think I will. Yeah, it's going to be tough on these top 2 or 3 here. But anyways, we're going to go with these 5 bands that I think are the best 5 C bands, if you want to call it the C bands. So to drink to the C bands. There's like 3 or 4, I'll mention them at the end, who I didn't quite decide not to have them in my top 5. We're going to start out with this band. This is the Cars. Their Candy-O album here, the cover. You like that? And then you've got a nice picture of them all on the back. So the first 2 Cars albums are outstanding, in my opinion. So they have 6 in their discography. The next 4, varying degrees of how much I like them. Sometimes I like them a lot, sometimes not as much. But the first 2 are cinches for me here, and probably put this band in the top 5. Just a lot of really good stuff here. They have great vocals. Really got that new wave sound down to a science here. To me, when I think of that new wave sound, the Cars are one of those bands that come to mind immediately. They were probably among the biggest of those bands as well. Them, Blondie, The Police, all those bands were right in there. You know, you could throw in maybe the Talking Heads. Yeah, you could throw those all in there kind of together. This one to me is, personally, I think they're right up there. I don't know if they're my favorite new wave band. I don't think so, but they're definitely in that top 5 there. Really strong band with lots of really strong hits that are very memorable. So that's my first one. My second one is a band that I've been listening to for 40 years, but really never owned anything from them other than a greatest hits, which I quite like. I listen to it a lot. I still do sometimes too. But I started collecting their discography last year, and I've come to like this band a lot more than I originally had. It wasn't an easy marriage, but it became a marriage that I like a lot. We're talking about CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Funny that I don't really like any of John Fogerty's stuff much, but this stuff I love, especially this album. There's a couple of others that are really strong albums as well. So a band that came on, and probably should have ranked the Cars a little bit higher than these guys, but I've been listening to these guys a lot over the last year, and the Cars not so much. So, you know, there's kind of that current feeling that predominates this list sometimes. Sometimes it's a nostalgic list. Sometimes it's more of a current list, and this one seems to be a bit more of that. And so I like these guys a lot. Lots of great hits, and some of the deep stuff's quite good too. They refer to these guys as swamp rock or southern rock or one of those things, but maybe it's because I've been into that southern rock movement lately that these guys are doing so well, but I do like them a lot. So that's CCR. That's number 4. Next up is the number 3. Now this one, so these next 3, big jump up from the other 2. The other 2 I like a lot. These 2 I love a lot. These 3 I love a lot. So the first one is going to be Alice Cooper, but not just Alice Cooper the musician, but Alice Cooper the band. I like more. I have most of the stuff I have is from the band, the original band, and I like it all. This one is also from the original band. It's the newest album. This album was a massive hit for me last year. Did very well at the beginning of this year too. I still like it a lot. It's just from top to bottom. It's a very strong album, and very good sounding stuff, and a little bit of variety towards the back end of the album, which I didn't initially like. It was, you had some of that 50s stuff, some bluesy stuff, a little bit quirky stuff, but I've kind of grown on that stuff a little bit too. So yeah, and I like some of their earlier albums quite a bit, even some of Alice Cooper's own albums from his discography, his when he went solo. I like some of them as well. So this guy, kind of a funny story about him. I never liked him when I was growing up. I always seen him, I guess, not that anybody said this to me, but I kind of inside felt he was kind of a bit of a rival to Kiss, and I didn't really like rivals to Kiss at the time. And that kind of stuck with me a little bit, held on a little bit after I started moving away from Kiss. And in recent years, that's completely gone out the window. I don't have that issue anymore. Actually, in the 80s, I started listening to some of that new wave stuff he put out. And the Clones album I liked a lot too. But I didn't really think of it as Alice Cooper. But now I like this stuff much more than that. And I also think of this as Alice Cooper more. So, yep, Alice Cooper, I guess that's number 3. The top 2, this was difficult. I wasn't sure. I think I went with the number 2 band, primarily because I've only had the one studio album by them and another live greatest hits, and now I have a second studio album by them, but I haven't listened to it too much. That's probably why they finished second, but this is a fantastic album, top shelf album. This is Caravan in the Land of Pink, or in the Land of Grey and Pink. Sorry. Love the artwork, of course. Get up close so you can see it. Music is fantastic. Started out initially just kind of liking the one song, Golf Girl. And for a long time, that was the only one I liked. Then bang, all of a sudden I liked everything on the album. And now I don't listen for the album for the Golf Girl anymore. I listen for the other stuff. Some really, really fantastic instrumentation here. Quirkiness, yes, but lots of that fantastic prog elements to their music. I like his vocals quite a bit too. Very strong album, and I've been trying to collect the remaining albums from this band, but not easily found and expensive when you do find them. Although I did get one, a much later one, like one that they came back after many years and did. It was part of my list of albums. I think it's on my list this month's list, so you'll get to see me talk about that when I do the new albums purchased. Looking forward to that, and also looking forward to collecting the rest of their albums. So so Caravan, and my most recent team is named after these guys. My most recent baseball team. So yeah, great album, great band, love them. Number 2. And my next and last number C letter one, I don't think this will surprise anybody. People see this coming from a mile away. This is Camel. I picked this particular album because I like this album a lot. It's probably, at this point in time, it's top 2, maybe top 2 for sure now, but the Mirage album is currently number 1 on my playlist. So that could change very drastically in a very short time, but this is a really good album. Their first 4 albums, I think, are fantastic. I like the vocal one, so Snow Goose doesn't do as well as the other 3, but primarily I do like Andy Latimer's vocal part, even though he's not a super strong vocalist, but it gives that, he has a mellow voice, which really suits their music quite a bit. So, yeah, there you go. Camel, number 1. Not a doubt here. A slight doubt with Caravan, I guess, but they just have more albums that I'm familiar with than Caravan, and I think that's why they get this spot. So they probably have like 3 1s or higher for me, and then Caravan just is the one album I know, so that's part of the reason why I chose them as number one. So those are my 5 letter C rock bands for today's A to Z. We got Caravan, number 1. Camel, number 1. Caravan, number 2. Alice Cooper, number 3. CCR, number 4. And the Cars, number 5. So some of the bands that were squeezed out, Cheap Trick was probably the most notable one. For people who know me are probably surprised that they're not in there. I just don't listen to them as much as I used to, so this is more of a list of recent familiarity that's taking over here a little bit. The other band, of course, is Chicago. Just not as familiar with their stuff as some of these other bands, so they lost out because of the familiarity. There's a couple of other ones here too that are escaping me right at the moment, but yeah, really strong bands. The letter C is a strong letter for me. I think that for most people, a lot of these bands are really well liked. And that's my take on the letter C for today. So please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about the A to Z's bands that I chose, you can. If you want to just put your own list in there, you can. If you want to talk about those bands, you can do that as well. So anyways, we'll see you all next month for another letter. We'll be doing the letter D. This will be a fairly difficult one because there are quite a few in the letter D that I like. So take care. Have yourself a good day, a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.